we're still discussing the review of the Anambra State governorship election that happened last Saturday. Doc, when the results were announced, I was like, in most in the past, there were jubilations across Anambra State. Whether they were frustrated or whether they were prearranged, but there was jubilation virtually in every part of Anambra State. That's a reflection of the people's acceptance of the results.
The truth of the matter remains that Abga is entrenched in Anambra State. Abga is like a household name in Anambra State, and Abga has, party members across the state. So you expect that when the party wins an election, but a party that won an election with over how many percent? 4/5. That will give you roughly about something percent of the vote. The party will definitely jubilate. So when you see that there are jubilants across 80% of those that voted in an election are jubilating, it will be across the state. I remember that was the 21. It was the case of 21/21. The whole state local government areas they are capitulated to Abga. So
I think the 21 about 23.
this is what about the 12.
Yeah, I think they want 21 out of
23 state local. So you could see that clearly it was an overwhelming winning. So you expect overwhelming rejoice. If you have only 90,000 persons, or 9 out of every 50 persons, am I correct? Yes. 90,000 persons crying in the midst of 400,000 people. You will not notice they are crying, no? It will be dwarfed. So it's whether it is a reflection of the people's will. Remember, the people are different from those that voted.
Well,
The people are, we know that's the nearest instrument.
those who voted
Are the people.
Are the people.
That's why I say whether it is the will of the people or whether because we didn't say what the parties did, whether it is the will of those that collected 10,000 and 5,000 and they were happy that at least the candidate that the work they did actually resulted in winning. We don't know, but for sure you could say that. I mean the happiness across the state or the rejoice across the state is a reflection of how the vote they are won and lost.
Okay, there was something that dominated during and after the vote. The issue of voter inducement. Many began by the famous campaign rhetoric of Soludo when he said that those who would vote the most will have a direct reward.
Oh yes. I think he said is it 10,000, 10 million naira.
Many said he was buying votes. I said maybe he was motivating people to come out. That's my own perspective. Maybe he was motivating people to come out. Okay. So would you notice votes buying the university? And if you did, at what scale compared to what happened the previous elections?
No, it's getting worse. Vote buying is getting worse. In fact, people, the young boys and young girls who have been impoverished, actually look on election day for a payday. I say payday. They feel like the election day is a day whereby the candidate should be able to pay, for the votes, and they get something. That's the only time they feel they're getting something from politicians.
Okay.
Salute those rewards to the ward and the polling units that vote most. For me, it was talking to his party members and party faithful, and I think he was trying to spur them to work harder. Why do I not say that that was not vote buying? Because I know clearly that in Anambra State in 2010, let me not mention candidates. We saw candidates that were, induced the 2011 election, in 2010 election. We saw the candidates that literally paid and induced members of the public, in exchange of financial reward. We saw parties that, they are if they are conducting election, the campaign, where they, if you are walking into the the campaign hall, they'll give you some tips. So over the years, we've seen it voter inducement, voter buying, grew. I remember in 2007, in one of the polling units I monitored in Anambra, I saw that if you vote, they will ask you to show your ballot. And if you show your ballot, it belongs to a political party. You drop your ballot, come in, and you are given a bottle of Coke and to eat. So I'm not expecting it to drop anytime soon. We saw this in Osun State, where vote buying, was as high as 40,000 naira per vote. And so what we are looking at, can we have a way of curbing it? But vote buying in that state in the last election, was done by all the political parties. The ABGA, the APC, they actually try to induce. In your famous way, you say, it is the case of my Lord, I was intrigued. So that's what I saw. I can say about voter buying in Anambra State. It was practiced by the major parties, and I can tell you that it's a case of the incumbent has more money. They have, and the voter buying didn't stop by just exchanging cash. People snap pictures to show where they voted. People show the cards, and people, to a reasonable extent, marked their ballot papers. This is another new thing that I feel INEC has to look into. People actually had to write something on their ballot paper. So how did you now begin to know, who scrutinized to be sure that those ballot papers were, as the people claimed, so, by a particular voter. So it means that some political parties may be having access to, to the ballot papers. So I think it's not something that is new. It's been happening, but the only thing is that the scale upon which is happening now may be worse than what you used to know.
Okay, political party performances. Can you briefly just run down? We saw PDP.
That's the one that actually,
that couldn't get up to 2,000 votes.
Yes, I was dumbfounded.
Then ADC
was nowhere to be found.
Labour and all that. So could you just
I must commend the APC. I must commend the APC.
with the estimates?
Yes, I must commend the APC.
Why?
Because I wouldn't have believed that PDP will perform so badly that APC will, take the second position. I wouldn't, if anybody had told me that, I'd have said, okay, maybe with incumbency they may score equal, but I would have still tipped PDP, to be on top. But look, come to think about it. PDP performed. I don't know if Alex Ekweme would have been lying down properly now. Maybe if he had the strength to push out, the sands on top of his grave, to chastise his voice, he would have done that. But that was not good at all, that PDP, given by PDP performance. And I must commend the APC. They showed resilience, they showed capacity. And for me, if you ask me really, I'll tell the APC won that election. Yes, because going from, where we rated APC, going by acceptability of APC in the Southeast, nobody would have accepted that they would have performed. So it simply implies that if there was no ABGA in that state, the APC would have won the election. And not even PDP, not even ADC, not even Labour. Yeah. So for me, I can tell you that I give kudos to APC, they did well. For the incumbent governor, I'm not going to give him, it's only a knock, assuming if he had lost. But we had expected him to win. But I give you the kudos to APC. And a wake-up call. The PDP, please, you are not showing a good outing. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, APC said they are rejecting the results of the election and they're headed to court.
That's the usual thing, but I would advise Nicholas Chikezie. Maybe he's looking to have, if he doesn't go to court, Soludo will not call him. Soludo needs to quickly call his friend, Yeah. I must tell you, he needed to call him. They shouldn't disturb the state. I'm pretty sure Chikezie would want to recoup back, his money. And let me not say I'm saying things that I'm all right. So they needed to give him some contracts, to recover from.
Okay.
So I think that's what is happening there. But as per he's going to court to do anything magical, it's not going to be possible.
Well, they're hoping the IMO.
It will not work. There's no IMO here. The president,
standard
the president had actually congratulated, Imo State will not work. People ought to understand what happened in Imo State. There's no Imo State will work.
Okay, let's leave that. Yes, every election offers lessons. New lessons, some are learnt, some are not learnt. And what do you think Nigeria, and especially the Southeast, you take away from the 2020 Anambra election, in terms of, so to speak, electoral reforms, political party development? I think the parties are not developing at all. I may be subjective in opinion. Civic education, youth engagement, Southeast, look at. And so, what lesson do you think we all should learn from the Anambra election? There are no lessons to be learned.
So there are electoral reform. INEC should be unbundled.
What do you mean?
INEC should be unbundled. Those that are good to handle, and the unbundled INEC should have prosecutory powers. Well, I expect that people that cause voter inducements, people that do vote buying, shouldn't be under the purview of INEC. They should be unbundled such that the capacity to try people, should rest on the next part of INEC. If to prosecute and arrest those working in conjunction with necessary security agencies. So the men INEC should understand clearly that our workers are just going to go there to do their work. It's none of our duty to know if somebody had actually, induced or not. But because the duty of the next unbundled INEC to catch the giver and the taker of, voter ID, because what it implies now is that if you want to win an election, you go and pack as many money as you can, to be able to buy, voters. So I think first INEC should be unbundled, and then secondly, I think the political parties on their own should be able to do a better campaign. This election, what we saw in terms of campaign was not the best. So I think INEC should be unbundled, parties would do better campaigns. Then thirdly, there's still a serious lacuna, when it comes to civic responsibilities. I have not really seen NOA in the recent time campaigning vigorously that people should go to vote. So I think NOA should be National Orientation Agency and INEC should be able to go on, educating the populace on the need to cast their ballot. So I think, by and large, these are a few things I think INEC should be able to do. On the issue of result collation, I think they've done well, but they needed to improve on efficiency. And then finally, I think INEC should move away from registering voters to utilizing the NIN. They utilize the NIN, integrate NIN into their platform, so people can easily come into a place and then vote without even their voter's card. I think the voter card is almost an impediment, especially to the younger ones, from voting.
If you ask to see what will stand out as the most important reform necessary to improve elections in Nigeria, would you say is INEC or would you say security? Which one would a combination of both?
Both. INEC needed to be, like I said, INEC needed to be appointed so that one will be saddled with responsibility of conducting the election, while the other will be saddled with responsibility of, working with security men to apprehend those that actually buy votes and those that they sell the vote to. And then the security operatives, I think we need to emphasize the need paying our security workers, that goes into electoral issue. I think what they need to be given is logistics. Anyway, they will still say it's payment, it's DSA, it's DSA. But I think our security operative needs to do better. A situation where, like I saw in Anambra State election, where inducement is done before policemen, I don't think that is right at all.
Okay, if you were to meet His Excellency Charles Chikezie right now, barely 4 days after he declared the returns, what would be your advice to him going forward as governor of Anambra State in the next 4 years? But when you started, you sounded like Abisma. So now that he's been re-elected and he's going to be there for the next 4 years, as we would have conceding that he has performed not up to their standard So what would you tell him now? He's sitting, he's watching you talk to Chukuma.
Three things. The first thing is reach out to the opponents, have a dinner with them, and then ask them to come on board. Each and every one of them was interested in making Anambra State great. Each and every one of them had some blueprint at the back of the mind. See if you can actually tap that and then reduce the unnecessary cost of it to the court. Abridge the time so it enables you to prepare for the state. Two, do a situation analysis. The quickest way to handling that is collecting all the videos, what people said online, they said offline, and then getting some experts to sit in the room to critically evaluate your government, because during campaign people will tell you the bad side of your performances. And then number three, bear in mind that this is trying to dust two angles, to dust them up. First is what he agreed he was going to do in Anambra State, which is Dubai, Taiwan, or China, whatever. He has to begin to implement it right now. He has about 4 years uninterrupted to do that. And then the other flip side is the ability to stamp out insecurity out of Anambra State. He has done well, but he needs to be more engaged. He needs to be more proactive. He needs to be more intimidating on the insecurity or the unknown gunmen in Anambra State. People talk so much against it, and then you equally need to reduce thuggery in the state. Yes, he has a lot of thugs working in the state in the name of Ndakudu. So even as much as they are Ndakudu, he should be able to bring them up to modernity and then change the narrative in Anambra State. But more importantly, he should quickly have dinner with those that lost the election.
Okay, he should be magnanimous in victory. He should reach out. He should extend a hand of fellowship to those who contested, because as Dr. Obasi said, they are all meant to improve the fortunes and the well-being of Anambra. So thank you so much, Dr. Chikezie Obasi.
Thank you very much.
Secretary of the Guild of Political Affairs Analysts of Nigeria, chapter, for joining us on today's program, and to you, our devoted audience. Thank you so much for staying with us. But remember, as always, democracy only works when citizens remain informed, engaged, and vigilant. Elections come and go, but democratic responsibility continues. Until same time tomorrow, it's bye from all of us. Have a lovely day.